Back again, back again, back again. All we do is win. And they are the very musty professor. And we are certified all the time, y'all. Certified salute to the family. FBA Friday. Let's see what it's about. Family, these people out here crashing out. First off, I want to say that we stand on certified principle. We stand on certified business. Everybody else just falling all over the place. Okay. But let me tell you this. Free Larry Hoover. I'm going to go ahead and put that on the line, okay? I'm going to put that. I don't feel like Big Meech and Larry Hoover. Free Larry Hoover. That's what I'm saying. And the fact that they're trying to free Larry Hoover, oh, man, they got a hell of a lot of people out here crashing out. A hell of a lot. Because the Democrats want us to be their do-boys and girls. They're basically telling the Republicans and Donald Trump family straight up, they're saying if anybody's going to hustle, to put celebrities in front of people, to distract them instead of giving them some tangible policies, it's going to be the Democrats. See, what you got now, they don't like the fact that Donald Trump is out here actually doing things that black folks have wanted. A lot of black folks said, we wanted immigration and we wanted them people out the door. They out the door. Check out for more on that today. A lot of black folks are saying, free Larry Hoover. Shit, free my cousin, free Huey. Few and far in between do a lot of people ever give us what we say. So is it something that the Democrats are crashing out over? You goddamn right it is. You damn right, family. Because the games of what the Democrats try to put on foundational black Americans, it is easy to see. And now the fact that it's so easy, family, they crashing out over it. And we gonna get all the way to work. Roland Martin out here making threats, family. I ain't lying. Rolling out here in these damn streets, talking about swinging on people. He out here promoting lawlessness. He's out here saying, pardon everybody. See, they don't like the fact, y'all, that every single thing that they have been doing to the black community, now Donald Trump, he done seen the play. So he out here doing the same thing. And there's been a lot of people talking. There's been a lot of people saying a lot of things. And we going to break it all the way down. First off, let's clear this up, okay? Larry Hoover, he had his sentence commuted, okay? And what that means is Larry Hoover's been in solitary confinement, okay, for about 30 years. No light, no daylight, no visitor. So when Donald Trump went ahead and did that with the sentence, yes, Larry Hoover is not coming home right now. His family's trying to get him home. Okay, his family's trying to bring him back in. All right, but let me make this clear. All right, now he's been moved out of the maximum security so he can actually see his family. And I'm with that. Anytime somebody who went to these places and have been rehabilitated. See, I'm old enough to remember the time where they told us that jail was about rehabilitation. Y'all remember that? What words did they use to justify locking foundational black Americans up? Matter of fact, who did that? Oh, it was Joe Biden in the 1994 crime bill. So they lock us up under the fake and false pretext that we are going to be completely rejuvenized. We're going to be new people. We're going to come out even better. And then when you do that, they say no. How many of y'all remember Tukey Williams? Y'all remember Tukey Williams? Same exact thing happened. So the fact that somebody has turned their life around, I mean, when you're 70-something years old, that's what it is. And ain't it funny, though, family, when Joe Biden running around here calling us boy and the N-word left and right, they all say, well, he's too old. He's old. He doesn't get it. Give the elder a chance. When the same exact thing happens, fam, everybody flips it. And he's a political prisoner, a visual prisoner, physically, mentally, spiritual person. And this is how we are acknowledging it. And they don't like that fact, y'all. They don't like it at all. When somebody has rehabilitated themselves, because they locked up a hell of a lot of people on the pretext of rehabilitation. And then when they do, they still say, nope, you're locked away forever. So Donald Trump went out there and he communed the sentence. Now he's still facing the state sentence, which is 200 years. However, now he can see his family. Now his family's got hope, something they can fight for to bring him home. And I'm all for it. I don't want to hear no, this is the distraction. A distraction from what? What's the distraction from? What? Donald Trump taking our rights away? What is it going to be? The reparations bill that no party's trying to give us? We already know what we on. We already know what we focus about. Everything else is in between. But we going straight to work. Y'all, look at this right here. Roland been out here crashing out ever since then. And when I say this man is crashing out, family, I mean he's crashing out. Somebody get him a straitjacket. He ain't been the same at all. Yep, shout out to Mumi Abu Jamal. We're going to break that down today. I need everybody who's in the place right now. I need you to smash that like button because we are about to go 100 miles an hour with the top drop back. And we're going to expose all the charlatans, all the frauds, all the counterfeits and the fakes. And we're going to start right here with Roland Martin. You don't like the fact that you want to give us Megan Thee Stallion and Glorilla and Cardi B. But when Donald Trump says, let me go ahead and at least do a solid for Larry Hoover, then you want to crash out. Somebody get this man an extra and another extra large straitjacket because he's crashing out.
We're going to wait till the end of the year. We're going to issue all of them around Christmas like it's a gift. No, the power is literally with the president. The president can issue a pardon or a commutation anytime, any day. Damn it, do it. And let me be real clear. Fuck Fox News. Fuck conservative media. They're going to criticize you anyway. So you do it. And if they say, why don't you do it? Because I'm the president. See, again, this to me is when you play a game with folk and you don't let it be known, I am the president, yo ass deal with it. And if y'all want to swing, let's swing. Recess appointments, hell yeah, do it. I'm not threatening you.
Whoa, y'all want to swing? Roland, you're sounding like a hate group, Roland. You're sounding like a cult, Roland. What would happen if any foundational Black American got on a Twitter space, got on Instagram Live, got on TikTok Live, and was talking about swinging? Would they take it in context, family? Or would they round that to the nearest criminal? Would they be like, we told y'all about them damn FBAs. We told y'all they violent now. Then we gonna hold him to the same accountability. Oh, yeah. This is the matching that energy generation now, ain't it? So, Roland, you out here looking like a hate group. You out here talking about swinging on folks and threatening folks. What you gonna do, Roland? What you gonna do? Hit him with a butter biscuit? We know you ain't gonna give away your food, so you can cancel that one any goddamn way. You ain't hitting nobody with a turkey leg, a butter biscuit, some salad, a hot dog, some onion rings. We know you ain't throwing nothing. So, why you out here talking about swinging on folks, family? This sounds like some tether hate group. Because remember, Roland is from Haiti. Do they come over here with all this violence, everybody? Do they come over here trying to bring all of that hatred in these strizneets? Yeah. Roland, you need to start swinging back on that man that was on your iPad exposing himself. Why are you so big mad, Roland?
See, again, this to me is when you play a game with folk and you don't let it be known, I am the president, yo ass deal with it. And if y'all want to swing, let's swing. And if y'all want to swing, let's swing. And if y'all want to swing, let's swing. Recess appointments, hell yeah, do it. I'm not threatening you. The moment y'all hit that damn gavel in recess, appointment. Boom, boom, boom. Don't play games with me. I'm going to do it again.
That sounds like a threat. How many of y'all feel that sounds like a threat? That sounds like a threat. Somebody need to go ahead and alert the authorities on Roland Martin. Roland out here making threats, family. Somebody need to alert the authorities.
Again, look at all the Democrats. Look at all them whiny-ass Democrats, Candace, who bitched and moaned because Biden issued preemptive pardons for his family and others. And the fact of the matter is he was right. This asshole would have investigated every single one of them. They would have ran up multi-million-dollar legal bills. And that's and that's why Biden did it. And he should have actually done.
Whoa. Now you out here promoting lawlessness. Ain't it funny, family? Didn't they tell all of us that pardons were so wrong? Didn't they say that? So why is Roland really mad right now? Is Roland really mad because the grip that the Democrats thought they had on the Black community has slipped all the way away? Is he realizing that every single thing that we told him when it came down to the election that came to fruition? Is he accepting the fact now that there's nowhere to go and the midterm numbers is looking just as bad as the 2024 election numbers? Landslide. The couch is still where we are going to occupy. That's what it's looking like to me, family. This right here is a Democratic meltdown because they've been trying to separate every single person from the Black community. What they basically been telling us, family, they've been telling the world that the Black American community are their pawns. The Black American community are their bamboozled, they're hustled, they're hoodwinked. We gonna give them Megan Thee Stallion and the rappers. We gonna give them Glorilla. We gonna give them 2 Chainz and Quavo. How dare you come and run them same tactics on Black Americans that we've been running on Black Americans. That's what this is really about. So Roland is only exhibiting and displaying this type of crash out behavior and cussing too. Damn.
You do it. And if they say, why don't you do it? Because I'm the president. See, again, this to me is when you play a game with folk and you don't let it be known, I am the president, yo ass deal with it. And if y'all want to swing, let's swing.
Oh, snap. Uh-oh. I'm sorry. I hear hate group. It sounds like Roland Martin and the Roland Martin Butter Biscuit Network is a hate group. Foundational Black Americans, we don't run around here talking like that. Foundational Black Americans ain't out here talking about swinging on people. If we come out here and defend ourselves, everybody get mad at us and say how mean we are. Roland, you sound like a hater. This is terroristic behavior right here. I don't like hearing this talk. I am going to alert the authorities that Roland Martin is making open and public threats on the Republican Party. We will not stand for that from a Haitian. Sorry to tell you.
The president can issue a pardon or a commutation anytime, any day. Damn it, do it. And let me be real clear. Fuck Fox News. Fuck conservative media. They're going to criticize you anyway. So you do it. And if they say, why don't you do it? Because I'm the president. See, again.
This man is breaking all the way to hell down right now. And I love it with a passion. I love it with a passion. Family, this is taking further what we had already said when it came to the election. They do not want foundational Black Americans to exercise our options anywhere. The greatest, most loveliest thing you could ever do is have options, family. This is why I went to all those MAGA rallies. This is why I said foundational Black Americans, we're going to let the world know it's going to be the couch, or it's going to be a third, fourth, fifth party, but it will damn sure not be the Democrats. And if you look now, Donald Trump did a couple things. All the people running around here saying he just deported 150 people in Tallahassee. Is this what you voted for? And I said, yep. Then they turn around and say he just revoked all of the student visas from all of the people from Asia and the Chinese people. And I say, yep, that's exactly what I voted for. Y'all remember that? Oh, everybody getting their act right, y'all. Everybody getting that act right now. I'm loving this. Is exactly what we wanted. This is exactly what we wanted. And if Larry Hoover, somebody who has been rehabilitated, who's been in prison for 30 plus years, is an active member of trying to teach these young folks out here in our community how to leave the gang life alone the same way Tukey Williams did. Isn't it funny, fam? When you're a Black person and you make a mistake or you do some type of harming when you're young, you can never be rehabilitated. You can never be rehabilitated, but yet they'll make us forgive somebody who just harmed a Black kid yesterday. There'll be somebody who will run up and harm a Black kid yesterday, and they'll start talking about forgiveness. Dylan Roof, what'd he do? Dylan Roof went up in South Carolina, took out 9 elders, and the day after, they was talking about praying and they forgive him. What? No. That Ryan Paul Meter guy down in Jacksonville, where I was at, they was talking about forgiving him before they took the people out the damn stuff. So isn't it funny how everybody get rehabilitation, everybody get forgiveness, everybody gets turn the other cheek, except for somebody who's been in solitary confinement for 30 years, ain't seen the damn light, and has actively promoted the welfare of changing people. Do you know how many people we have? Mumia Abu-Jamal. Look him up. Shout out to Mumia Abu-Jamal. He's one of the smartest people walking on this planet Earth. And Mumia Abu-Jamal has been locked up for years over nothing. Railroaded case, a complete railroad case. So let's make this clear. Let me run down the frame, okay? When you are rehabilitated, you're still a criminal. When you have teach people, reach people, you have uplifted people, you are still a criminal. When you've been railroaded, when they have evidence, when they don't have evidence, you're still a criminal. When you have a bag of Skittles and you're walking home and somebody comes after you and harms you and unalives you, you're still a criminal. When you skip class in middle school, you're a criminal. When you steal some bubble gum, you're a criminal. Well, then, goddamn it, they're all criminals, including Roland Martin, who out here making open threats. Everybody getting matched up right now. Checkmate. This is how it is, family. The game is over. So I am right now calling for all my certified foundational Black American people. We need to stand on it. We need to stand on that business. And you know what? Also, I'm hearing a lot of people are saying, well, this is pay to play. This is pay to play, right? So everything is pay to play. Well, I say this. Y'all listen to this. I've been thinking about this all day. Y'all know I'm Black Alpha Network #1 activist. You know what we need to do, y'all? Since it's pay to play, how about we start getting our donation money up and going to these politician and buying parties? Oh, my God. Has everybody been talking about buying pardons, y'all? Ain't that what everybody's saying? We gonna buy a pardon? Well, let's go ahead and start buying some pardons. H. Rat Brown is in jail right now. Can we go there? Do you know how many brothers and sisters never made it out of the 60s and 70s and put in work for the community? As a matter of fact, speaking of putting in work, look right here. You see this beautiful, lovely, foundational Black American soul queen? Yeah, she go by the name of Assata Shakur. If you don't know who she is, look her up. Assata Shakur right now is in Cuba, and she has been hiding from the United States government. Barack Obama and Eric Holder, what's up with all these people having Roland Martin? Goddamn. You know it's something, family, when you got Ho in your name. When you got Ho in your name and you're non-FBA, you just got it all twisted. Damn, pick a struggle. You got Ho in your name and you're non-FBA. That's something crazy. But think about it. Barack Obama pops up one day in 2013 and he said, we upped the bounty on Assata Shakur. What for? Goddamn. You know why, family? Larry Hoover, they don't want to see Larry Hoover out in the streets. You know why? Because if Larry Hoover is out in the streets, it shows you, family, something that can uplift and empower us. It also shows you light at the end of the tunnel. They don't want Mumia Abu Jamal out here in the streets. You know why? Because that's light at the end of the tunnel. They have to make an example out of these people. They got to say, if you do this, I got you. See, it doesn't even matter what he ended up doing. What Larry Hoover allegedly ended up doing, that doesn't care. You think the system of supremacy cares about that? They don't ever care when somebody from their community does it to us. Always judge them based on if somebody from their community does the same exact thing to us, they don't ever seem to care. How come there's never no justice there? How come there's never no justice when one of them harm us? Don't let these people say we have so much caring about what Larry Hoover did, but yet you got all types of W's who did way worse than what Larry Hoover did. You ain't locked them up. You got so much of a problem with P. Diddy, but yet you got Hugh Hefner, Epstein, all of these people running around. You ain't locked them up. You talk about a freak off in the Diddy party. I will raise you the Playboy Mansion. You ain't locked them up. So don't come telling me about morality or ethical code when you ain't ever ethical code or morality any race soldier who harms a foundational Black American for a broken taillight. You are in no position to lecture us politically, socially, and damn sure not morally. So yeah, free Larry Hoover all goddamn day. I said it, I meant it. That's the game we playing, then we gonna play it to win, y'all. And let me show you something else, fam. When you start talking about what's really going on, there's a lot of misinformation. And you always going to get the real right here, uncut, even if I got to put it all on the line, okay, and be extra Black Alpha crazy, because I am. I'm going to put it on the streets for my brothers and sisters to see. So everybody running around here talking about what's going on with Larry Hoover, this is the real case. This is the real study. Y'all check it out.
Presidential order has just shifted the future for a Chicago gang leader who ran one of the most powerful criminal networks in the country. President Trump has commuted Larry Hoover's federal life sentence. Hoover's son posted a photo of Trump's signature with the caption, "Almost home." Hoover, who's now 74, once led the Gangster Disciples. He has spent nearly 3 decades in a federal supermax prison in Colorado. Trump signed a 2-page order calling for his immediate release from federal custody. He was first locked up in the 70s for murder. In the 90s, he was convicted again, this time for running a criminal empire from prison. Federal prosecutors repeatedly opposed any form of early release.
I hope y'all heard that. I hope y'all heard that. He was re-convicted in 1997. After he had already been in prison since the 1970s. You see what happens, y'all? You see how they will railroad you? This is the definition of a railroad. This is the definition of the unjust system. Don't let these people come to you and talk about morality or per capita. Don't let none of these people talk that talk. Let me tell you, the villain cannot be the victim, all right? The oppressor cannot be the oppressed. And if you allow them to, they will all damn day. They went back and threw extra charges on him in 1997. Guess what he was doing in 1997, family? In 1997 is when he started to reach out to all of the gang members. Let me go ahead and give y'all a quote from Larry Hoover, okay? Any of my brothers and sisters in here, I don't know if we got GA in the house, but let me tell y'all, Young Jeezy had a song. It is called Street Nigga, and he played it. And it's off of a clip from Jay Prince, where he had a record back in the day from Rap-A-Lot, and it was a phone conversation. He had a phone conversation with Larry Hoover, and Larry Hoover said this. Larry Hoover said, Brothers got to get together all over this nation. I'm talking about not the regular people in the street. I'm talking about street NIGGAs, people who call themselves gangsters. Listen to that. And this came out, family, in the 90s. He said, brothers got to get together all over this nation. I'm not talking about regular people in the street. I'm talking about street NIGGAs, brothers who call themselves gangsters. And then here comes some extra charges. Family, they always want you to believe these people is running criminal organizations over the internet, running criminal organizations through text messages from jail. But all them mafia dudes, what was they doing? What was Joe Biden doing? What was Barack Obama doing? What was Hillary Clinton doing? Oh, we ain't gonna have that double, triple, fifth standard. No, we're gonna keep it real. And they mad that we keep it real as a community. This is what he was talking about. Go back to Tupac Shakur with the thug life laws. We broke that down before. Thug life laws. It ain't what they try to tell us thug meant. Okay? This was a real street code. So everybody who runs around and they talk about the YNs, oh, these YNs are so crazy. You know why the YNs are so crazy, family? Because they have been perpetrated upon, and all of their OGs and older people have all been locked up. So when they was putting all that stuff in the community, 1980s, when they was putting all them things in the community, 1980s, they was locking up all the older heads. So now the young folks running around here misguided and undecided. And then you got all these execs serving them all some hip hop music. That's the bad stuff, family. We got a lot of people out there making positive rap. They don't push that. They don't push. This is why we get behind people like Kendrick Lamar, because he's out here with a real message. But they don't want that, family. They want MC Pookie Loke. And MC Pookie Loke going to get a big ass deal. And they're going to put him right in front of you. So when Larry Hoover was talking about brothers and sisters got to get together all over the nation, and remember, family, he said all over the nation, okay, meaning all of us. And he also said not the regular people in the street, meaning mamas, grandmamas, kids, people who are well-to-do, civilians. We're not including them. We're going to let them live their life. There's a code of conduct. See, we're not these other communities. We don't run up in schools and just do all this crazy stuff, family. We got a real community. There you go. I see you right there. Quote right there. Y'all see it. Tupac Shakur, his daddy Matulu, all of them got together. They came up with this. I heard Larry Hoover even approved it. Boom. Next thing you know, all that stuff was eradicated. So when he's talking about not in harming or bringing in people who are victims, who are civilians, that's what he was talking about. That's what they're really afraid about. And that's why people are crashing out over him, perhaps potentially ever seeing the light of day again.
Empire from prison. Federal prosecutors repeatedly opposed any form of early release. Ron Safer, who led the federal case, says he believes in mercy, but not for this.
I also believe that there are some crimes for which there is no forgiveness. I mean, think about the number of families that he destroyed through the illegal narcotics that he...
Illegal narcotics and families destroyed? Who put those illegal narcotics in the neighborhood? When Larry Hoover ended up going to prison in the 1970s, family, the epidemic of you know what didn't start until the 80s. Talk to me. What we talking about up in here? So now they care about narcotics in the neighborhood. Did Joe Biden care about it when he was locking you up with the 3 strikes? They not going to talk on both sides of the Mayo neck. They not going to do that, family. That's not what's going to go down. This was perpetrated. This was perpetrated. Don't come to me talking about some no crime out there is as bad as what he did. You heard what he said? Did this man just sit there and say some crimes are unforgivable, but yet in the same breath they tell us to forgive everybody, including the slave master who harmed us? We are in a perpetual state of forgiveness. They are in a perpetual state of just criminalizing. Don't allow the person who did all this stuff to pretend that they're the victim.
Some crimes for which there is no forgiveness. I mean, think about the number of...
Yeah, it's called Jordan Neely. Yeah, what about Jordan Neely, huh? What about that? Y'all gonna talk about what happened there? We gonna talk about that case? What about Trayvon Martin's, huh? What about Mike Brown's, huh? Sandra Bland's, huh? Freddie Gray's, huh? Jordan Davis, huh? Philando Castile, huh? Eric Gardner, huh? We want to talk about forgiveness? But no. Everybody get forgiven in those situations, but when it comes to Larry Hoover, it's you cannot forgive
families that he destroyed through the illegal narcotics that he distributed for money.
And do you know how many families were destroyed with the crack epidemic on top of every single thing that came along with 3 strikes in the 1994 crime bill. I have a family personally that was affected by it. My very own. So I'm sorry, as a certified foundational Black American grown-ass man that seen my uncles affected with drug use and drug abuse based on the epidemic that was strategically placed in our community, I don't want to hear shit about Larry Hoover being unforgivable. Sorry.
Hoover is not necessarily walking free. He still has time to serve in Illinois for murder.
Did Donald Trump give a notorious gang leader a second chance at freedom? I'm going to break down what happened, who he was, what's going to happen, and how this changes things. So Donald Trump just commuted Larry Hoover as a former gang leader of Chicago, Illinois, federal life sentences. And this is all happening at, coincidentally, age 74. If you know, you know. Now, does it mean he's free? No, because he's still facing 200 years with the state of Illinois. Now, if you don't know who Larry Hoover is, let me break it down to you. So who is Larry Hoover and why is he in a Supermax prison in Colorado? So Larry Hoover founded the Gangster Disciples in Chicago, Illinois in the 60s. However, in 1973, he was convicted for ordering a hit on a guy named William Pookie Young, which gave him a 200-year sentence in the state of Illinois. However, while serving time, he was still running the streets and running the gang in prison. But then was indicted in 1995 under Operation Headache for continuing to run a gang empire from prison. And in 1997, he was convicted of all those charges. They were sent to this.
Charged him in 1995 for Operation Headache. Y'all go look at Operation Headache. Let me tell you what it's really about. Operation Headache sounds a hell of a lot like Black Fatigue. You see how they put all these things? And by the way, I haven't seen any W's locked up with Operation Headache, especially people who are previously already in jail. I ain't never seen it, fam. What it really was about is that they knew that eventually he was going to have lawyers pick up his case and he was going to get out of prison. So they said the best way to keep him in prison is to throw charges on him while he's currently here. Because if we let him leave, he may not come back. So they threw the extra charges on him with Operation Headache, which is exactly the same as Black Fatigue. They got fatigue and headache. This is what they got when it comes to us. And next thing you know, bam, he's right there.
This prison, ADX Florence in Colorado, which is a maximum security prison. If you don't know anything about this is a maximum security. So that means it's 23-hour lockdown, concrete walls. You can't talk to other inmates. You don't get to see people. I don't know if you can even see daylight. I'm not sure about that. But Larry Hoover is now 74 and has now spent 5 decades behind bars. 30 in isolation. 30 years in isolation. That is enough to break anybody down. In recent years, his family has argued that he is a changed man. Quote from him was, "I'm a completely different person than the man I was in 1997. Now, before y'all even judge, are you the same person you were 10 years ago or 20 years ago? Thank you." Probably thinking back on stuff you did, like, what was my problem? On May 28th, Donald Trump made headlines for commuting his federal sentences, so getting rid of his life sentences, and he will be sent to the state of Illinois to serve the rest of his time. Now, some people are saying, "Oh yeah, he's finally free." Well, yeah, he is free. This is a big change for him and his family. There are more opportunities in the state prison than there were in the federal prison. He can now be around people. He can have visits. Imagine being in a confined space for 30 years. All you got is books to read, Bibles to read, and talking to God. Sometimes God will sit you down and talk to you by yourself. This man needed to be talked to. So all that information was researched, but this is my personal input. As a sophomore in high school, I read about Larry Hoover and his case. I was interested in the Gangster Disciple, which made me no longer want to be a Gangster Disciple. A whole other story. I love the meaning of the love, light, loyalty, understanding, wisdom, and knowledge. I didn't believe that that's what it was about anymore. However, I do believe in reform. We had a chance to do this with Tookie Williams. That man changed in prison, and we got rid of him. This is a chance to put him in the public or around other inmates and see if he changes them. I'm not saying that he can, but as a man that was in isolation for 30 years, who is he now? Is it possible for him to influence the prisoners in Illinois? Can we hear him out of how he feels now, what he thinks? The point of prison was to reform him. But my hope and wish is that he can give the world of the Black community and the Chicago community some knowledge of what he understands now.
Presidential order.
Man, that brother, put it down. Brother, if you're watching right now, you was cooking. Shout out to that brother. Man, he said that real good, didn't he? Didn't he break that down, family? Same way we about to break it down. Think about that right now, y'all. Think about the way that was placed, okay? You're talking about 30 years, no sunlight, no sunlight. They wanted to put him away forever over there. We ain't got to see him no more. All of our political prisoners are always locked up or taken out. Somebody told me a long time ago, okay? They said you're either cracked out, sold out, or taken out. Let me say that one more time, okay? You're either cracked out, sold out, or taken out. It's one of those three for those who put their hat in this thing called revolutions and the revolutionary spirit and the revolutionary soul. And that's exactly what it is. They want to push this man away. So you've been hearing a lot of people saying things. You got people out here saying, man, if you gonna free Larry Hoover, how come you don't free my cousin Jerome now? How come you don't free this one? I'm with your cousin Jerome. Let's free him too, okay? But let's not throw no shade on anybody, okay? And if your cousin Jerome did something wrong, his ass can stay in jail, all right? But we're out here now breaking it down in the real aspect of how we can really get real political soldiers out here in the streets. So imagine how many people that he's going to be able to speak to just in prison, because he wasn't around nobody. He wasn't around nobody. And I'm always support somebody who's trying to be around his family, especially in a system that promotes and preaches rehabilitation. Everybody else can be reformed. Everybody else can be reformed. Then how come we can't be reformed? You dig it? So that's exactly what they've been trying to do, family. They do not want him out here, none at all. So when Donald Trump comes out and he communes a sentence, yeah, that was bigger than what a lot of people doing. Because basically, fam, and I was kind of getting a feel for what people were saying out here in the streets. I was getting a feel for how people were playing it. And you had just a bunch of people running around just babbling. I mean, the babble was insane, family. You had a lot of people just saying crazy goddamn things. And they was like, man, y'all out here thinking everything is good and we gonna be straight now. You need to free every damn body. How come him? Family, listen to what I just sat there and said. Listen to what I just told you. Donald Trump communed his sentence, which means the man's not in solitary confinement no more, which means look at the conditions he was in then and look now. I'm sorry. To me, that's a solid. That's a solid as much as you could be solid, family. That's extremely a solid. You tell me anywhere else or anybody that would turn down that deal. So was Trump saying, I'm going to go ahead and score some political points? So Donald Trump's trying to score political points when he's in the last term of his presidency. He can never be president again. What's he trying to do? Do it for J.D. Vance? Is this what it is? Okay. Or is it about money? Well, if it's about money and it's pay for pardons, shit, I say we need to get our money together. If they can pay for anti-black racism, we should all get our money together and let's go get H. Rap Brown and Mumi Abu Jamal out. You down? Let's go do it. Let's go do it if that's the goddamn case. I'm cool. I want it to be that way. See, you had a bunch of people coming out just babbling, y'all. Mad people were coming out saying, man, it ain't real because he had to pay for it. Cool. What you think gonna happen with a pardon? If I got to pay for a pardon, cool. NBA YoungBoy as well. Family, all I know is this. NBA YoungBoy, Larry Hoover, Harry O from Death Row Records. Those are just three people that Donald Trump pardoned. Barack Obama increased the bounty mysteriously and randomly on Assange's court. You want to see it? I'll show you. We ain't got to lie. This is Black Ops Network, family. We're going to put it on the table today. Y'all look at this right there. Boom. Look at this right there. $2 million reward. This just mysteriously came out about Assad Shakur. And they are always trying to up the ante. Family, this has nothing to do with morality or ethics. This has every single thing to do with them trying to set an example. That's what it's really about. They want to set the example that they're going to come and get you. They're going to come and get you. They're going to lock you up. They're going to lock you up. And now they're upset because Donald Trump, when he's pardoning black folks and people who actually have played a role in the black community, that's setting a precedence that they don't really want. And the Democrats don't want that at all because people like Roland see that goddamn butter biscuit. Roland don't want that because, once again, Roland wants us to still be in a hypnosis from Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B. Don't let nobody who gave you Cardi B on the campaign trail and Megan Thee Stallion was twerking for votes, don't let them come and try to lecture you about who gets pardoned. And family, the Democrats was out there, and I'm telling you now, the Democrats was out there making every excuse. They send out they same TikTok Democrats, and they're trying to convince black folks how this really don't mean nothing. Now, I just showed you that Larry Hoover's family themselves are applauding this. If his family is applauding this, that's cool. If this takes a man out of solitary confinement, and if he does not beat the state charges, it's give him the opportunity to see his family again. If that doesn't resonate, and resonating with Donald Trump pardon is lesser than Roland Martin's tap dancing, then you're lost.
Donald Trump announcing that he was pardoning Larry Hoover did exactly what it was supposed to do. Get black people to be excited and start thanking Donald Trump for doing absolutely nothing. And it's embarrassing because it makes it look like we'll get excited about anything. Somebody handing us scraps.
What you think the Democrats been handing us? What's this going to do? Stop all the policies the Democrats never wrote for us? Y'all hear this now. Man, it's just showing that we only excited about scraps. Okay, and the Democrats been feeding black folks scraps for years. What we want to do, have another rap party? Is that what we're going to do? We're going to twerk for votes more? He's saying that like he's speaking from a party that's actually done something. This is what we saying, y'all.
Y'all don't think that Donald Trump knew that he was still facing almost 200 years on the state level? Come on. Like, y'all have to be serious. Y'all thought Donald Trump was going to go this hard for a black man? Be for real.
Do you realize
who was going to do it? Barack Obama? Oh, no. How about Joe Biden, who wrote the 94 crime bill, which, by the way, Roland Martin defends it. Oh, so now the Democrats want to play like they're the black saviors. Y'all see what it's about. Everything in the political world right now is the Democrats trying to pretend. They try to pretend that they do something. They try to pretend that they care. They've been trying to pretend that they've gave us policies. Roland Martin told us we don't need a hate crime bill. He straight up said it. He said, we don't need a hate crime bill straight up and down. And now they're talking about what about all those things that Joe Biden did? What? Mass incarceration?
that life charge that he just got commuted was handed down 17 years into the 200-year charge that he's currently sitting on right now? Oh, why didn't Biden or Obama go and do it? Because what would have been the point? He's still going to end up passing away in jail. I'm from Illinois. I'm from Chicago. You know, the place where those state charges that they were talking about.
You ain't from no damn Chicago. Y'all notice he said, I'm from Illinois. Chicago. Could be the South Side. You ain't from no goddamn Chicago. Quit playing. You from some suburbs. You got a W woman and you got a broken jar of mayonnaise. Stop playing with me. You ain't from no damn Chicago. I know Chicago. My people from 4 hours east, okay? You ain't from no damn Chicago, partner. So quit trying to act like you're some type of spokesperson. See what I'm saying? Democrats act like they the spokespeople for black folks, and he trying to make it look like he the spokespeople for Chicago. No, the hell you not, okay? You the spokespeople for them goddamn tap dancing shoes you got. That's what the hell you are. You ain't from no damn Chicago. And notice, fam, they keep trying to downplay it by saying Larry Hoover still got 200 years. Now, I just showed you how his conditions have changed, how he's no longer in solitary confinement, how he can see his family. They keep leaving out the part that he can see his family now. They don't want to go there and acknowledge that. So they're harping on the fact that he has to still fight the other case.
About that he's still held on are, you know, where Donald Trump isn't liked here. They don't like him here. Not really. Not at all. That being said, what do you think he did this for? He wanted power and influence in Illinois. And right now, your ignorance is giving it to him. So shut up.
Trump pardoned Larry Hoover. Trump pardoned NBA YoungBoy. He must really love the black community and criminal justice reform. You know how many people have said something to me of that nature from my MAGA community the past few days? Danny, you were in prison. You did 10 years in the Florida Department of Corrections. You're about criminal justice reform. Look at all the stuff that Trump is doing. And let me tell you, it's a political propaganda show. It is a pay-to-play show. If you've got money and status, you can buy pardons because it...
Okay, you can also pay for donations to somebody like Shiloh Hendricks or George Zimmerman. How about the dominant society's been paying people all the time? Y'all notice that they're trying to make pay for pardons a bad thing. I don't think it's a bad thing with all the damn money they be throwing around in Washington, D.C. Go ahead, keep on paying, because you know what's going to happen next, family? Let me tell you what's going to happen next with this whole pay for pardons thing. I'm going to go ahead and tell you. All of those foundational black Americans, us, we going to start paying. See, remember when they were having GoFundMes for all of those serial anti-black racists? And then we said, okay, since y'all want to put money on the books of people, we're going to put money on the books. You see how they don't like, we've been knocking on that door and we said, we're going to come on in. And every time FBA come in the building, we always take over anyway. They don't want that. So listen to the language and how they're trying to scare us away from everything. Man, this is really pay to play. Good. I'm down for it. Because you know what that does? Paying for pardons, that allows us the opportunity now where we can go ahead and start paying some pardons for some people who are political prisoners. Pay for pardon for political prisoners. Sign me up. I'll take it. I'll take it. You don't think foundational Black Americans can raise some goddamn money and get some of our brothers and sisters up out of there? Yes, the hell we can. They didn't think we put money on the books of Carmelo Anthony. You see, they don't like the fact that we doing what they've been doing. They don't like the fact that we've been standing on principle. They're afraid right now. They very shook, and they're going to stay that goddamn way because we ain't going to change the way that we moving and the way we operate, y'all. Yes, you absolutely right, my sister. Big mad.
It gives Trump the headlines.
And shout out to KC Mo. I see you.
Yes, Trump pardoned Larry Hoover on his federal charges, but he still has state charges, and Trump knew that. Trump also pardoned Lil Wayne, Kodak Black, along with NBA YoungBoy.
My people, please do not fall for the propaganda and the banana in the tailpipe, okay? Let's not let the circus peanut commuting the sentence of Larry Hoover distract us, okay? Let's not do it.
You know what? Malcolm X was right about a lot of you niggas. If you want to confuse niggas, put it in the book. Because for almost 24 hours now, I've watched my timeline up and down speak on Larry Hoover and them thinking that he's going to be pardoned and released from jail. First of all, his sentence got commuted. There's a difference between commuted and pardoned. Y'all would notice if you read. While his federal charges may have been commuted, he still has to serve his state charges.
I'm getting tether vibes here, family. This looks very tetherish. And notice, here come that Democrat cussing at Black folks again. They gonna find out the hard way. They gonna find out the hard way. All that cussing at Black folks, that ain't gonna go. Y'all niggas don't need to do this. Y'all need to read. How come y'all don't read? That's the same Roland Martin talk. That's that, you simple Simon, beep, beep, beep. That's that same talk. Look how they're going so far to make this look like a bad thing. They don't give a damn about morality. They don't want foundational Black Americans getting behind this because they know if Donald Trump starts doing them solids, like letting Larry Hoover see his family again, oh man, it's going to be crazy. That's what they don't want.
Which is still like 100 years. So what is this excitement all about? Larry Hoover don't even claim the organization no more. Y'all really think this man is feeling ready to...
Listen to what she's saying. She thinks she's flexing. He don't even claim the organization no more. Yeah, because he's been rehabilitated. That is more of a reason why we support him seeing his family again and perhaps beating the state case and coming home. So you're proving the point why you think that you're flexing. And I think that you're a tether, by the way, too. Remember this, y'all. All this weird headgear that folks is wearing, they're doing this to hide them hairlines and them faux heads. Anybody who's running around here with their hair or a bandana all the way over their eyebrows, they're trying to hide that tetherism.
At the age of 74 years old, get out of jail and bang the set. And it's really, really sad. Larry Hoover stands on GD or growth and development is a whole lot different from what you niggas are trying to entail, which makes you part of the problem. One thing about Trump, he know how to get you tap dancing. He merely threw y'all a bone yesterday,
and the Democrats truly throw parties where everybody's dancing. I went to a Kamala Harris rally and she spoke for 2 minutes and the DJ played for 35 minutes straight. And they were eating hot dogs and hamburgers and had the concession stands open. Don't play with me, tetherism. Do not play with me.
Y'all been jigabooing the whole day. I just hate when my people are just so unintelligent. And yet, y'all get mad when people speak about Black fatigue. This is my Black fatigue.
Donald Trump announcing that he was...
Oh, that's a damn tether. That ain't nothing but a tether, y'all. That's a damn tether. If we ever seen one, that's a tether. Y'all don't say this about my people. Remember, I told y'all, somebody who always overemphasizes my people ain't one of our people, okay? That's all they do. That's a tether right there. But you see, the Democrats now, what they're trying to do is they're trying to say everything that Donald Trump is doing, what they've been really doing, okay? They've been really trying to hide that. The Democrats right now are just trying to make things up. Man, Donald Trump got y'all out there doing things that, we've been doing for years. Oh, and by the way, speaking of that, let me show y'all this real quick. Since we talking about it, let me show y'all this, okay? Y'all need to see this. you got some real issue. All that stuff about she got black fatigue, right? Okay. Well, I got goddamn bad wig fatigue. All right. And every time I see her, I start bugging the hell out. I got bad wig fatigue. And apparently she does too. So no, nobody with that dustpan mopping broom on your damn head is going to come trying to talk to minds of people about Larry Hoover. All right. Because I believe that you ain't nothing but a damn tether. Absolutely. Yep. Tether fatigue all goddamn day. All right. So you need to take that cheap rug off the back of your front of your neck and go ahead and replace it. And then you can start talking to us. Until then, sit down, raise your hand, and I will have somebody come see you. Checkmate. There you go. So they've been really out here, family, trying to downplay what's going on. And we ain't really going for that. We understand what it is. I've already showed everybody. This has been a solid. If Larry Hoover's family now feels the point that was a good deed by Donald Trump because it gives them the opportunity to fight the case, and it also gives them the opportunity to perhaps see him and be next to him and be near him, that's a solid all goddamn day. And I don't give a damn what the Democrats say, because if you leave it up to the Democrats, fam, they want us locked up in jail, throw away the goddamn key, and vote blue forever. All right? That's what they want. And they want to accuse Donald Trump of the things that they've been doing to us. If anybody has no right or no position to talk about giving black people scraps, it's the Democrats. And remember, we ain't been voting Republican in 90%. So the Democrats have no moral, social, or logical backbone to say a goddamn thing about black Americans when they've been having us on that goddamn treadmill forever. And now we got their asses out there on the corner forever because we ran that plantation to the ground. Remember, the Nottoway plantation, that was the second plantation. The first one that burned down was the Democratic plantation, and neither one of them are coming back. But watch this here, family. This goes to show you absolutely how upset they are. See, Roland Martin went and did a whole breakdown, and y'all watch this, y'all. I promise you, Roland on here snitching. Watch Roland, family. Roland on here snitching. You can tell and see the vitriol that he has for Larry Hoover and NBA YoungBoy. Remember, NBA YoungBoy was also pardoned or communed. Watch this, though. Roland Martin, you see defeat all in his face. After you see past the 4 chins, watch the defeat.
Pardons.
Watch this, family. This goes to show you they over there thinking, damn, we ain't going to be able to fool the black folks.
This time for a couple of notable African Americans. One of them is rapper NBA YoungBoy. He also issued his own statement. And he dropped this here. I want to thank President Trump.
Freeze. Watch how many times Roland says, Y'all listen. Listen how many times he says, more than he beeps. So you know he's stuttering. Watch this. This man says, 57 times and he beeps 54. It was a close race, a photo finish, but won.
Issued his own statement, and he dropped this here. I want to thank President Trump for granting me a part and giving me the opportunity to keep building as a man, as a father, and as an artist. This moment means a lot. It opens the door to a future I've worked hard for. I'm fully prepared to step into this. Big thanks to the pardon czar, Miss Alice Marie Johnson, for fighting for second chances for so many people, and to my lawyer, and Brittany K. Barnett for being in my corner. And
beep, beep,
all your hard work to make this possible. And thank you to everyone who believed in me. I'm grateful. I'm focused. I'm ready. Ken Trail. Now, again, this is related to his previous convictions as a result. And he also, of course, is in the middle of going on tour. He faced a variety of legal issues, including gun possession charges. That was one of the things that the Baton Rouge rapper was facing.
That man just mixed of and He said it's one of things he was facing. He meant to say one of the. He mixed of the and He just put it in one big That was one things that he was facing. Look how he's out there trying to purposely talk about the charges, family. He's purposely trying to talk about the charges so he can make it look like YoungBoy is just this big criminal. Watch, family. Roland now has resorted to trying to snitch on black men. Look at Roland. Now you're starting to see that 1994 crime bill sympathizer pop out. Ain't it, Roland? You're upset, ain't you, Roland? You're mad because you finding out that all of that tap dancing you've been doing for the Democrats ain't working. We need to get you a 100-time XL straitjacket because you ain't been the same since. And since Donald Trump is doing solids for the black community, you don't want nobody doing solids. So doesn't that tell you who the real enemies are of the black community? It's not the ones who have not been getting 90% of the vote. It's the ones who have been getting 90% of the vote.
Now, let's now talk about Larry.
Watch this, family. Here we go. Let me skip through this. This man tries to come back around and he starts talking about Larry Hoover, and he's saying how, well, you know, Larry Hoover, he is a criminal. Watch this, man. He starts talking about how Larry Hoover is a criminal. Larry Hoover's bad. He doesn't need to really be free. And this tells you again, when it comes down to it, Roland's going to go back to criminalizing black folks. This is how he operates.
Now, Larry Hoover,
here we go.
Well-known Chicago gangster, led the Gangster Disciples, also a drug kingpin. This is the Chicago Sun-Times. It's on their front page. President Trump commutes drug kingpin Larry Hoover's federal prison sentence.
Look how he starts talking about a drug kingpin, y'all. He's a drug king. This sounds like a conservative. This sounds just like Megyn Kelly. Who needs Megyn Kelly when you got Roland? You see, when you don't go along with the Democratic Party's agenda, they'll start saying how bad of a criminal you are and how Larry Hoover's a drug kingpin and how NBA YoungBoy had weapons charges. You don't say none of that about Joe Biden. You don't say none of that about Eric Holder.
A drug kingpin. This is the Chicago Sun-Times. It's on their front page. President Trump commutes drug kingpin Larry Hoover's federal prison sentence. Hoover and David Barksdale created the Gangster Disciples in the late 1960s, ruling as King Larry and King David until Barksdale was killed in 1974. Now, the White House didn't explain why he was granted the commutation. He said, but the story says, but Hoover attorney Justin Moore said Trump commuted Hoover's sentence to time served. He still faces essentially life in prison on a state murder conviction. And then Justin Moore says we did what so many said was impossible. We got.
What the heck? Did y'all hear any of that? Fam, the lost me. Wait a minute. Y'all listen to this. I think I heard an and a beep beep. Listen.
Essentially life in prison on a state murder conviction. And then Justin Moore says we did what so many said was impossible. We got Larry Hoover out of federal. And Justin Moore and Justin Moore.
What the hell is going on? I don't think the straitjacket is tight enough. Somebody go get some lasso.
Or says we did what so many said was impossible. We got Larry Hoover out of federal prison. Now, as the story notes, Hoover still has a state court murder sentence to serve. Illinois prison officials have previously said he'd likely serve it in the federal system. And then it says right here, the news comes 8 months after U.S. District Judge John Blakey heard a mercy bid from Hoover. The judge challenged, and then it says right here, the news comes 8 months after.
This man can't even talk. You know he desperate.
The U.S. District Judge John Blakey heard a mercy bid from Hoover. The judge challenged Hoover's attorneys during that hearing, asking how many murders is he responsible for. Hoover's lawyers ultimately responded by asking the judge to disqualify himself from the case. Blakely hasn't ruled in the months since. So the story says Hoover was convicted of murder after a trial in December 1973, and a judge.
Goddamn, Roland, you might as well take the stand at the Diddy trial. Look at how he's reading all this Mayo press, just completely slandering Larry Hoover. And then he was charged with this, and he went here. And why did he do it? I don't know. He didn't have none of that for that Monica McCleaver chick. Yeah, y'all remember that Democratic insurrection where they was putting their hands on federal agents? How come you was caping for them, criminals on camera, putting their hands on federal agents? But when it come to Larry Hoover, you sitting here right now just reading him his rights. Roland want to go snitch. Roland on telltale mode. Roland look like he about to tell on the whole goddamn studio. We know what you're doing, Roland. What you really trying to do is you trying to criminalize him because you really wanted to come back down that this pardon was bad to get black folks on that plantation. I told you they'll sell out a 2-year-old black child if that 2-year-old ain't voting blue.
Judge sentenced him to 150 to 200 years in state prison. He said that didn't stop Hoover from running the gang, though. Hoover was charged in federal court with 40 crimes, including engaging in a continuing criminal enterprise. He was found guilty on May 9th, 1997. The late U.S. District Judge Harry Lineweber handed down Hoover's life sentence in 1998, telling him he had misused a gift from God. And again,
man reading testimonies from the W's, fam. Listen to this man reading these damn testimonies from the W's. Roland out here trying to get Larry Hoover locked up forever. Let's just keep it real, y'all. That's what Roland trying to do. Roland is trying to get Larry Hoover locked up forever. This ain't nothing but the very musty professor.
Old roof that you've been
That's
thinking
exactly
about
who
replacing.
this is, fam. That's exactly who it is. The very musty professor. and he trying to get a black man locked up forever. And I don't want to hear nothing about no criminal reform or none of that, because when it come down to it, you don't support it unless the Democrats did it. But watch him crash out.
Another point I want to make is black men aren't dumb.
Further.
And I think black men are tired of performative politics, whether or not it's Democrats pandering to black men or it's Republicans pandering to black men.
No, the Democrats do that all day. Nice try.
I think to the greater point, and this is something that Candace mentioned earlier about the 90 million voters who just don't show up. I think that 90 million is going to be more impressed by this than folks who are expected to turn out to vote in 2026 and 2028. But
listen what she said. She said the non-voters are going to be impressed by this. When she's talking about the non-voters, she's basically saying Donald Trump is going to win votes based on these things. This is a pandering war that the Democrats are upset. The Democrats do not want nobody pandering to black folks. They want to be the only panderers, the only liars, the only deceivers. If they see somebody else doing it, they're going to crash all the way out. And watch the way they're crashing out. The Democrats are upset and they're embarrassed because when they had a chance to write real policies for us, they didn't. But now Donald Trump is out here commuting sentences of political prisoners. They hate it.
What I find interesting in a pivot towards black men is with that crypto party that happened last week. Mm-hmm. One of the people that was there was Lamar Odom. Now, I mean, I'm not exactly going to count Lamar Odom's pockets. I don't think he has $1 million or $5 million to invest in crypto. But, I've heard some reports that he was paid to be there. He got an appearance fee because there still is that perception of,
paid to be there. You mean like Roland Martin was paid to do a softball interview? Yeah.
Become transactional for both parties.
Okay. So I want to unpack.
Watch now. He's about to get mad at his own people. If his own staff ain't talking what he wants to hear, Democratic tap dancing, he get mad.
Like that. And I need people to listen to me very clearly.
I'm crashing out.
Even when Obama was there.
Watch him, family.
One of the critiques that I had is that I felt that President Obama played it too safe. And what I often argue is that the presidency holds tremendous power.
This man can't even get it out.
And what we've had are individuals. What we've had it holds tremendous power.
Did he just replace beep beep with it? I could have swore, family, I just heard an it. This man done went from beep beeping to it.
Tremendous power. And it holds tremendous power. And what we've had are individuals who know about the power, but have been unwilling to maximize the power. And there have been instances where I believe that it was too safe. Take these pardons. Derek is right. This whole idea of process. I can tell you, up until I visited the White House Friday before the inauguration, and there were battles going on inside of the White House regarding pardons. Pardons for former Congressman Jesse Jackson Jr., pardons for former Congressman Jefferson out of New Orleans, pardon for Marilyn Mosby. Mm-hmm. I was told that Biden drew a red line for what he deemed public official corruption. That was his red line. That's why he issued those pardons. I disagree with him, especially on Marilyn Mosby. That pardon should have been granted. I thought it was BS that she was convicted for using her own money. But I believe the problem, and I said this earlier, and I wasn't joking when I said that Democrats play too nice. They it's like what's artificial.
If you've been injured in a car,
no, Roland, don't come trying to tell us about playing too nice. Nah, ain't it funny how Roland wants people to play nice when It's trying to score votes. Fam, this is the same man who said we don't need an anti-Black American hate crime bill. This is the same man who told us quit complaining about reparations. Now he wants to talk about who's playing too nice. Why you want to get mad? Family, this man is unhinged. This man is unhinged and he's a public safety threat. Look at him right here, family. He's a public safety threat. He is melting down and he's inciting violence.
2010, I was fed up watching how Obama was responding to Republicans and even some Democrats. This is what I wrote for CNN.com. Anthony, go to my iPad. Time for Obama to go gangster on GOP.
Oh my God. See, fam, he got a history of this. This is a threat. Go gangster. What you mean? Didn't you just sit there and tell us that Larry Hoover was a gangster who doesn't deserve to get out of jail? You just sat there and read the testimony of a Mayo. So he's willing to slander Larry Hoover based on being a gangster. He's talking about going gangster on the GOP. This man is out here inciting violence. Somebody needs to alert the authorities. Roland Martin is making serious threats. Watch this, fam. He ain't done.
And this is what I said. Civil rights activist family. This is that I disagree with how Democrats do pardons. We're going to wait till the end of the year. We're going to issue all of them around Christmas like it's a gift. No. The power is literally with the president. The president can issue a pardon or a commutation anytime, any day. Damn it, do it. And let me be real clear. Fuck Fox News. Fuck conservative media. They're going to criticize you anyway. So you do it. And if they say, why don't you do it? Because I'm the president. See, again, this to me is when you play a game with folk and you don't let it be known, I am the president, yo ass deal with it. And if y'all want to swing, let's swing. And if y'all want to swing, let's swing. Recess appointments, hell yeah, do it. I'm not threatening you.
Yeah, you are, Roland. That sounds like a threat, Roland. That sounds like a threat. Does the Larry Hoover case got Roland Martin out here threatening people? Because remember, fam, let me go ahead and make this clear. What would happen if an FBA said that? If foundational Black Americans simply tell the tether he can't celebrate Juneteenth, they want to say we hate group. They want to make a whole damn petition. Roland, you out here threatening people. You talking about go gangster on the GOP back in the day. You was talking about beating people up just on the last one. And now you out here talking about swinging on people and saying it ain't no threat. That sounds like a threat, Roland. And you're going to be held to the same damn standards. You're going to be held to the same standards. And family, the Larry Hoover case got him that upset? Think about it, y'all. Roland Martin is this mad because Donald Trump communed the sins of Larry Hoover. Everybody's running around here telling us that it ain't that big of a deal. You still got to stay in jail. Ain't it funny, y'all? They sitting here trying to tell us on one hand, the Democratic shills are telling us that it's not a big deal anyway. We shouldn't take it serious. On the other hand, Roland Martin out here talking about swinging on folks. So it sounds like they know something they don't want to tell us. Yeah, it sounds like they petrified. They're terrified. That's why the last lady was saying that this is going to win over votes. They see the conning and the pandering to Black people going away. They want you to have Megan Thee Stallion, not a commune sentence. Not for Harry O, not for Larry Hoover, not for NBA YoungBoy. They don't want none of that. Who's pardoning more Black people? Donald Trump or Barack Obama? Because remember, Barack Obama upped the bounty on Assad Shakur. Roland right now is petrified because not just us voting for Couch, not us calling him a tether, not just us saying he's a Democratic shield and he spends his life at Applebee's. None of that. That's already got him shook. He's upset because Donald Trump's doing something the Democrats didn't want. Donald Trump now is doing solids for the Black community. Did I say Donald Trump was writing reparations? Because you're going to have them Negroes come out and say, Donald Trump ain't gave us reparations. Yep, but he gave Julio ass a pass to go back home. I'll take it. I'll take it. And then we'll clear out all the COONs and us certifieds. We'll go to the table. Me, my sister Ty, my sister Angelica Lena, we're going to go talk to Donald Trump about the reparations. Let's get Julio out of here. My brother Church, I see you in here. We're going to go talk about reparations. How about that? But let's go ahead and get Julio out of here. Donald Trump is doing solids for the Black community. All that stuff about what you voted for, yeah, a lot of brothers and sisters like, yeah, Donald Trump's presidency, it already feels better than 4 years of Joe Biden. Hell, it feels better than 8 years of Barack Obama. I'm absolutely cool. Absolutely. I love that comment, sister. Absolutely. Reparations are next. Reparations are next. They don't like the fact that you're simply seeing Donald Trump do solids. All Donald Trump got to do is do solids for the black community to build a rapport. And next thing you know, it's on and popping. Things like Larry Hoover are very, very prominent because it starts a snowball effect. You're talking about in the system of supremacy where a black person is jailed for sneezing, and then a foundational black American political prisoner is set free. What happens next when some people say, how about H. Wrap Around? What happens next when somebody says, I don't know, how about Mumia Abu-Jamal? It starts with a precedence being set. This precedence being set has Roland scared. This is why Roland is making threats. Roland now has kicked into aggression. The last call is for them to get violent. Oh, we're going to say the same thing they say about us, okay? Roland, you sound like a hate group. You sound violent. I think that we need to start a petition to get Roland Martin deplatformed because we will not tolerate his violent tendencies. Roland, you sound very violent right now. The Larry Hoover pardon has you so scared and upset that you're resorting to violence on people. You said it. Oh, I didn't say it. You said swing. You said you're going to swing. You said try me. I'll do it again. Go gangster. These are your words. Roland, you sound like a hate group. You sound like a goddamn hate group. And I know why you're hating. You're hating because you try to get us on the plantation. We left. You're hating because you try to scare us away from not just Donald Trump, but everybody. And Donald Trump's out there writing solids for black folks. The worst nightmare for the Democratic plantation is for Donald Trump to do small things for foundational black Americans, let alone the big things, because they don't even do the small stuff. So they'll give us some damn butter biscuits and roll in to eat them all. So now that that's happening, oh, it's on. Oh, it's on. And watch the fan. He continues to break all the way. Look at that man. That is the face of a man who is in distress. He don't like this season, but it's certified season.
The moment y'all hit that damn gavel in recess, appointment. Boom, boom, boom. Don't play games with me. I'm going to do it again. Boom, boom, boom. Don't play games with me. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to do it again. At some point, and here's the other thing, whether they want to own it or not, this is actually one of the reasons why a lot of people didn't vote.
There you go, family. There you go. He went through all that babbling, all those all those it-its, all those beeps, and it finally said what he meant. Black folks didn't vote because the Democrats ain't did a damn thing for us. You finally said it. You went through all of the Applebee's, you went through all the Longhorn Steakhouses and the Olive Gardens, and you finally got to the point, Roland. You are scared because Donald Trump doing solids for the black community, the Democrats don't do for the black community. Donald Trump writing pardons and commuting sentences for the black Americans in this country, the Democrats have never done that. And you finally said, look at his face, family. He's really saying it. It took him all that damn time to get to that point. What you're saying is that you scared. Whoo, he's scared and big mad. And he hungry. Damn.
Whether they want to own it or not, this is actually one of the reasons why a lot of people didn't vote for them last time. Because they are responding to strength. And let me be real clear. No. Responding to strength. We're not out here saying, oh, look how big and strong Donald Trump is. You look at males like that, Roland. Roland, don't be putting that. We ain't out here saying, oh, we responding to strength. Family, Donald Trump getting rid of all those illegals, is that us responding to strengths? Or is that saying finally a policy that benefits us? Donald Trump commuting the sentence of Larry Hoover, is that us responding to strength? Or is that us saying finally a policy and a deed that is positive for us? NBA YoungBoy, good. I want to see a young brother home. We don't look at it like you look at it, Roland. You look at it as, ooh, look at Massa, so big, strong, and all them muscles. I know you like all the muscles. Roland look at it, all the muscles on them. No. This is us saying somebody actually did a deed for black folks when the Democrats ain't did a damn thing for black folks. And your ass is big, mad, scared, and hungry. I be damned. He's MSH, mad, scared, and hungry. Donald Trump is a thug. Donald Trump is a misfit. Donald Trump is a shameful, despicable human being. But what he is doing is maximizing the office of the president to its full potential. I think, frankly, he's breaking the law as well, but the Supreme Court gave him a get out of free jail card. But this is where, if you're Democrats, damn y'all rules. Again, if a Democrat wins in 28,
damn your rules. Listen to what this man's saying. This man out here making threats, talking about violence, no rules. Weren't you just complaining about Elon Musk? Weren't you just talking about Doge? Weren't y'all talking about the letter of the law? Ain't it funny how quick the Democrats will get rid of the law when things ain't going their way? Ain't it? You have folks hitting federal agents and Roland Martin sitting here talking about swinging on people. Damn, I didn't think that the Larry Hoover thing would have y'all this down bad, but it's shameful.
hey, I'm not waiting for that once a year part and stuff.
Never sue the other driver after.
He ain't waiting for that once a year pardon stuff. So what you want to do? Break them out? You want to break them out of prison? Is that what you want to do? Is that what you're doing, family? You want to break people out? Listen to that, y'all. I want y'all to observe that. I want y'all to see how bad and upset it is. For everybody that's been running around here trying to tell foundational Black Americans, oh, it was a big nothing. It's got to be something because they wouldn't be that goddamn mad. Okay, fam, we're in the era now where they're afraid of precedents being set. They don't want precedents being set because they know we've been taking it and running with it, fam. Is this not the take it and run with it generation? Aren't we taking everything and running with it? Everything that comes our way, we say, good, we're going to take it. Give us an inch, we'll take a mile. See, back in the old days, folks would have a mile and take an inch. We get an inch and we take a mile, 2 miles, 3 miles. And then we run all the way around the goddamn earth before your ass wakes up in the morning. They don't like us matching energy and completely being efficient with our time. They know for a fact that it starts with Larry Hoover having his sentence come in, because remember, y'all are commuted. Remember this, y'all. The man was in solitary confinement and he's no longer there. Now he can speak to young brothers who come through the prison system. He also has an opportunity now where his family is going to fight for the case. So perhaps he can end up touching, feeling, and being around his grandkids and his wife. See, they don't like that. And when that ends up happening and that goes down, family, next thing you know, it's going to send a domino effect, because that's what's happening. Reparations, a domino effect. So this is what they're really afraid at. And watch him right here at the end, fam. He says he doesn't give a damn and he completely crashes out. He has no type of bearings for the law. Donald Trump has got Roland Martin being lawless. Roland Martin has officially reached criminal status.
Now move the hell on. But you know what they do? Once a year, and then the media they pick it apart. Republicans criticize, then some Democrats. Look at all the Democrats. Look at all them whiny ass Democrats, Candace, who bitched and moaned because Biden issued preemptive pardons for his family and others. And the fact of the matter is he was right. This
damn
asshole would have investigated every single one of them. They would have ran up multi-million-dollar legal bills. And that's exactly, and that's why Biden did it. And he should have actually done it.
Now, the other thing, when you
there you go, family. Ain't no damn law when it comes to them. This man has crashed out and he's promoting lawlessness. I think Roland Martin needs to be deplatformed. Why? Because Roland Martin is an absolute public safety threat. He talking about swinging on folks and hitting folks, no laws and pardons. He just wants to do everything that he critiqued them about. So it goes to show you that y'all been contradicting and y'all been bigots the whole time, huh? It was never about morality, the same way it's never been about policy for Black Americans. You're upset right now because we're seeing a hell of a lot of things. And family, I'm about to show y'all some breaking news. About an hour and a half ago, let me tell y'all this. Didn't I tell y'all? Watch this, family. Donald Trump is out here playing chess. These folks is out here playing Uno. Donald Trump just came out about an hour and a half ago, and he said, on the heels of commuting the sentence of Larry Hoover, NBA YoungBoy, Harry O, he's also open to commuting or pardoning P. Diddy. Yes, the hell he did. Watch this, family. Right here, Donald Trump says that he is open to pardoning P. Diddy if P. Diddy ends up being found guilty. Here we go. Did I not just say that this is going to set a precedent? Yes, exactly right. Oh, the Democrats don't want none of this. Democrats don't want this. So the question remains, if P. Diddy is found guilty, will Donald Trump write him a pardon? Stay tuned.
He's been a sort of a moderate person over. He's been a sort of a moderate person over his lifetime. Not a smart person, but a somewhat vicious person, I will say. If you feel sorry for him, don't feel so sorry because he's vicious. What he did with his political opponent and all of the people that he hurt a lot of people.
Whoa, freeze. Wait. Hold up. Before I get there, let me show y'all one last thing real quick. Y'all, again, y'all say goodbye and hello to the very musty professor, because I don't believe that you will be seeing much more of Roland Martin, okay? Roland is going to end up in prison. Roland going to end up locked up, and Roland is not going to be coming home, because I got a feeling you're going to wake up one morning, you're going to turn on your goddamn TV, and you're going to find out that Roland Martin has crashed all the way out, and now Roland Martin is behind bars. So we will see you behind bars, Roland. That's where you belong. You do not belong anywhere in society. You do not belong around the good people of the United States of America. You do not belong around anybody with half of sense, because you ain't got none. So that damn part. Keep on crashing out over them biscuits, family, and we're going to keep on showing up, showing and proving. So, Roland, have a good time at Longhorn, because I know that's exactly where you are heading. Easy, easy, easy. Now, back to this. This right here, before I go further, this right here is, wait a minute, let me show y'all. This is Donald Trump. And Donald Trump, first and foremost, he's talking about Joe Biden. Let me play y'all the Joe Biden part first. He's saying that he don't feel sorry for Joe Biden. Watch this, family. First off, he says, before I get to the ditty, watch him say he does not feel sorry for Joe Biden.
Look, he's been a sort of a moderate person over his lifetime, not a smart person, but a somewhat vicious person, I will say. If you feel sorry for him, don't feel so sorry, because he's vicious. What he did with his political opponent and all of the people that he hurt a lot of people, Biden. And so I really don't feel sorry for him. But look, he's been a sort of a moderate person over his lifetime, not a smart person, but a somewhat vicious person, I will say. If you feel sorry for him, don't feel so sorry, because he's vicious. What he did with his political opponent and all of the people that he hurt a lot of people, Biden. And so I really don't feel sorry for him. I really don't feel sorry for him. But look, he's
damn cold in these damn streets. Damn, tell us how you really feel. So there you go. He said, don't feel sorry for Joe Biden, number one. And then right after he said that, family, then he started saying that he would consider giving P. Diddy an actual pardon. Here we go, family. This is why they're crashing all the way out.
Apprentice, you mentioned once in 2012 that Diddy was a good friend of yours back then. He has since found himself in some very serious legal trouble.
Yeah, that's true.
Would you ever consider pardoning him?
Well, nobody's asked. You had to be the one to ask, Peter, but nobody's asked. But I know people are thinking about it. I know they're thinking about it. I think some people have been very close to asking. First of all, I'd look at what's happening, and I haven't been watching it too closely, although it's certainly getting a lot of coverage. I haven't seen him. I haven't spoken to him in years. He used to really like me a lot, but I think when I ran for politics, that relationship busted up. From what I read, I don't know. He didn't tell me that, but I'd read some little bit nasty statements.
See, what P. Diddy ended up doing, he started talking about Democrat stuff. You shouldn't have been caping for the Democrats, Diddy, because the pardon could be on your damn table, but you ain't want to take it.
Diddy was a good friend of yours back then. He has since found himself in some very serious legal trouble.
Yeah, that's true.
Would you ever consider pardoning him?
Well, nobody's asked. You had to be the one to ask, Peter, but nobody's asked. But I know people are thinking about it. I know they're thinking about it. I think some people have been very close to asking. First of all, I'd look at what's happening, and I haven't been watching it too closely, although it's certainly getting a lot of coverage. I haven't seen him. I haven't spoken to him in years. He used to really like me a lot, but I think when I ran for politics, that relationship busted up. From what I read, I don't know. He didn't tell me that, but I'd read some little bit nasty statements in the paper all of a sudden. You know, it's different. You become a much different person when you run for politics and you do what's right. I could do other things, and I'm sure he'd like me, and I'm sure other people would like me, but it wouldn't be as good for our country. As we said, our country's doing really well because of what we're doing. So it's not a popularity contest. So I don't know. I would certainly look at the facts. If I think somebody was mistreated, whether they like me or don't like me, it wouldn't have any impact on me. I think somebody was mistreated, whether they like me or don't like me, it wouldn't have any impact on me.
Let me go ahead and translate that for the family, y'all. Let me go ahead and translate that. What Donald Trump basically said right there is, if you got the goddamn money, let's go ahead and get them pardons popping. All right, so I need everybody to hear that, okay? Since we've been out here putting money on the books of our brothers and sisters who've been railroaded, let's go ahead and start putting money on the books of brothers and sisters who need to come on home because they're political prisoners. Family, again, as I said, a pardon and pay for political prisoners, I'm all for it. He was basically telling Diddy, if you're found guilty, first off, he said, I remember everything you said about me. Second off, if you found guilty, holla at me if your money right. If your money right, dude, family. Donald Trump is a businessman. Think about this, y'all. They're always saying, remember the first time they said Donald Trump is a businessman. He's not a president. I used to hear that and be like, good, then let's do business. That's what I was saying during the whole election, all the election coverage, which we had the best. Remember the election coverage, I was saying he a businessman. There's no reason why we ain't trying to do business with a businessman. Why you ain't doing business with somebody whose whole thing is about business? So I'm like, let's go for it. And that's why all the Dems are crashing out, because they understand when we start doing business with the businessman, things are going to happen that ain't never happened before. So he's basically telling Diddy, if it go bad for you and for the right price, have your people holler at my people and I'll go ahead and give you that pardon. He said it right there, fresh off the press. That happened about an hour and a half ago after he said he don't give a damn and he don't feel sorry for Joe Biden. So he said he don't give a damn about Joe Biden. He said he's open to giving a pardon to Diddy, and he just communed the sentence of Larry Hoover. And people are out here trying to tell foundational Black Americans we need to vote blue no matter who. I'm going to go with the person who's putting business deals on the table. I'm going to go with the person who's out here trying to make a come up. I'm going to go with the person that we can speak to, not the people we going to dance with, sing with, and tap dance for. Roland can do that as well as eat better than all of us ever could. So instead, family, that's what he's trying to say. So as they go out here, fam, and they try to make all those reasons and excuses, easy work. So I'm all for it. Yep, Asada, let's bring Asada home. You know what I'm saying? Fam, there's so many goddamn things that we could do. Y'all check this out right here. This is what I'm talking about. Man, they've been sending them out, fam, left and right. They send out the whole Butter Biscuit Brigade, and they are trying to get us to downplay what went on with Larry Hoover. And I'm going to be the first person, Black Alpha. I'm the first person to tell everybody this case is serious, because it sets the precedence now that we can pay for pardons. That's how you do it. Group economics, and FBA done showed up.
No, he didn't. Now, if you're referring to the fact that he pardoned his son and family to prevent Trump from being able to get to them, he still didn't do the fucking same thing. Why? Well, Trump is taking money from people and issuing pardons to people who don't deserve him at all. One, in general, anytime he does a pardon, the people don't deserve him. One, in general, anytime he does a pardon, the people don't deserve him. But specifically, these people are paying him for pardons. You are so wrong. Let me rephrase that. You're on the wrong side of history.
A lot of people couldn't believe some of the executive orders he signed, some of the foreign policies he signed on to. And when it came down to pardoning death row inmates, they said it was 40 of them. They said he pardoned 37 military types. And they said the one that dumbfounded them was with people that know Joe Biden. They said they know his character. They said the one that dumbfounded them was the pardoning of child. What they saying is these 6 or 7 people who were running the White House, this is their doing. They said Joe Biden would never pardon.
Y'all hear this old Negro? Do you hear him trying to say it wasn't really Joe Biden who did it? It was the auto pen. They trying to blame Joe Biden pardoning his whole criminal family on the auto pen. He's not really does that, nah. He wouldn't have never did it. Joe Biden was 100 years old and he just slipped and someone else did the pardon. All of the desperation tactics ain't working. Joe Biden pardoned everybody and Donald Trump is pardoning black folks. I'm going to go with the one who's pardoning black folks.
They said that's something he feels strong about. You feel me? So this is the looseness that we're talking about with the pen. People were doing their own agendas with the auto pen. And one thing that's coming from this, Joe Biden got a worse rap
Oh,
that
God.
he actually probably deserved because he won't sign in these. You feel me?
No.
So all that flack he was getting, he might be something, but he wasn't this something they say. It was somebody. And that's okay. But he takes off the hit.
That right there is how that sounded. The damn banjo had to go ahead and interrupt him. You know when the banjo come out.
He wasn't this something they say. It was somebody. And that's okay. But he takes off the hit.
There you go. Easy work. Shout out to my brother Capone for that one. The banjo had an interlude because this man is a fool. Watch this. This is what Joe Biden was doing.
Very sneaky today. He was probably hoping since the inauguration is going on, today's basically Trump's day, that no one would probably notice. But in his last few hours of being the president of the United States, he pardoned a bunch of members from his own family. And the pardons go all the way back to January 2014, just like his son Hunter's does. And this comes after in 2020, Jake Tapper asked President-elect Biden about the rumor that Trump may issue preemptive pardons before leaving office. Biden says, "You're not going to see me do that." And this comes after just yesterday where he gave pardons to Fauci, Liz Cheney, and everyone in the January 6th committee. This includes people like Adam Kinzinger, Adam Schiff. And just 10 days before that, he said Biden will only pardon individuals who committed crimes. If you don't think these people or your family did anything wrong, why are you pardoning them? Shouldn't they have nothing to worry about? Like, liberals will try to say Trump is shady and this and that, blah, 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 but then you completely ignore this. He pardoned his own son. He pardoned a good chunk of his family. He pardoned all these people who supposedly did nothing wrong, and he was hoping no one caught it. So Joe Biden did something very sneaky today. So Joe Biden did.
There you go. That's what Joe Biden was doing with his pen, and apparently Donald Trump is doing what he got to do with his pen. So this is why a lot of brothers and sisters, we saying Donald Trump, he ain't did nothing to Black Americans. Y'all see already, we're going down the same path that we went down in 2016. Remember the whole Donald Trump is bad and we going to be back in slavery family? We done seen it now. Everything is good. I'm loving seeing these illegals get pushed the hell up out of here. I'm loving seeing people get ran back home. Ain't nothing happened to us. The only ones who are scared are the ones who are scared of foundational Black Americans not voting Democrat. They may be living in a terrible apocalyptic world. We're not. And a lot of people are getting pushed up out of here. I commend him for exactly what he's doing when it comes to immigration and all the pardons. I'm down with it all the way across the board. Yes, indeed. They talk about this. They say Joe Biden ended up pardoning his whole goddamn family, his crime family, right? And then you turn around and you see when it comes to Donald Trump, he's actually out there doing it for pay. Ain't nothing different under the sun. And a lot of people been getting that ABK in return. All right. Think about it, fam. A lot of people who've been running around here, who've been disrespectful for foundational Black Americans, they starting to feel the sting of that latch. You got Julio, who was talking reckless about us before the election, and Julio's going home right now. Matter of fact, he might not even be going home. He might be going to Guantanamo. So you got to go, Julio, to Guantanamo. Bye-bye. And then you also got a particular community that was trying to disrespect foundational Black Americans and say crazy things. Y'all remember when a lot of those Asian folks were saying that we were taking affirmative action away from them? Y'all remember that? Remember when they was running around here saying, well, the Black Americans be taking all the affirmative action jobs? Yeah, let me show y'all what Donald Trump's doing now. Let me show y'all. Y'all seen with the news that just came out? With Donald Trump has been sending a lot of them folks home, and he been revoking a lot of them student visas. Y'all been seeing that? Check this out. The bait and switch, how Asian Americans were weaponized to dismantle affirmative action. Remember, they benefited on all of that affirmative action. Y'all remember that, right? Oh, every single group who is always anti-foundational Black American when the Democrats in office is now experiencing what it's like when a Republican's in office. See, when a Republican's in office, everybody get it. When the Democrats in office, only we get it. So that's why everybody's upset. So Donald Trump came out, he said, oh, we're going to go ahead and just start revoking some of them student visas. Hell yeah. And these were the same folks that were openly saying foundational Black Americans would mean to them, and foundational Black Americans were stopping them from affirmative action. Well, now you got some good action of revoked action of going home action. So it ain't just Julio, it's also Jackie Chan.
I don't know if you heard the news, but U.S. basically canceled a bunch of Chinese student visa. And at surface, you're like, oh, what's the big deal? It's actually huge. Let me explain why. It'll be like, oh, the Chinese students are coming here studying and taking advantage of our school system, and then go back to China and copy our ideas and blah, blah, blah. That's just the blunt kind of lack of understanding of how technology and how society really works. Why it's important to not think that way is because literally, if you look at the top professors, scientists that are living in US, you look at the credential, how they became who they are, almost all of them are from China.
More thoughts about the international student ban that just came out yesterday. My last video was about how he's really targeting Asian immigration to this country because higher education is how so many of us get here. And his fan base really doesn't want us here. Like, they don't like Asian Americans. They don't like Asians. They want to send them all back. We've known about this.
The State Department made another announcement around student visas, this time targeting Chinese students. What can you tell us?
That's right. Last night, Secretary of State Marco Rubio issued a surprise announcement saying that the U.S. is going to begin aggressively revoking the visas of Chinese students, including those with connections to the Chinese Communist.
Damn, how all that model minority action work? How all that I'm gonna blame it on FBA work? How all that somebody harms your community from the Mayo community and you blame my community? How all that stuff work for you, Yao Ming? Listen what they said. They said they are going to aggressively start revoking them. And they also threw around the word, what? Communist. Man, everybody getting that smoke right now.
The visas of Chinese students, including those with connections to the Chinese Communist Party or those who are studying in critical fields. It's unclear, Tony, what sparked this decision and how many visas they plan to revoke, but this is pretty big. Chinese students make up 20% of all the student visas issued by the United States.
I be damn. I'm loving it. I'm loving it all day. Hi, how you doing? There you go. Y'all remember before the election, everybody was saying, well, Donald Trump's going to just go after all of the brown folks from Latin America. Look like he's going after everybody. Was he playing when he said he was going to send everybody home? When you start talking about China, you start talking about communists, you start talking about student visas. Oh, man, it's on. It's on. And that's what's happening. We sat here and we called it all out. I said, guarantee you, watch the way it went down. Remember when Victor Ramaswamy was talking? They sent him on packing. Now you've seen Elon Musk. He's actually left the Donald Trump administration. Yeah. And by the way, Elon popped up with a black eye. So in the same week that Elon said he left, Elon's gone. He's not working with Donald Trump no more. They brought in them South Africans. He ends up with a black eye and now he's gone. Don't know, ain't asking. But what I do know is lower immigration, they're going home. Upper immigration, they're going home. So that looks like immigration from top to bottom. The same immigration that Donald Trump is sending home is the same one that Joe Biden, Barack Obama, Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, Kamala Harris all supported to bring these people in by the millions, undocumented. And every single one of those people came here with vitriol for us. And now we got humor towards them. And I'm laughing all the way to the bank. You got to go, and you're going to Guantanamo. And guess where I'm going? I am going to go to the store and I'm going to have me some food and I'm going to relax. And I'm going to enjoy every single moment with my foundational Black Americans. And I'm going to do it right here in foundational Black America. Because when it comes to the originators, it is us. And when it comes to the perpetrators, it is you. And the perpetrators are gone. And family, that's not the only thing. So think about that with the Asian folks and those student visas, family. And it's not just them. It's also a bunch of other people. So you're going to start seeing all of those upper class people who come here. They're not going to be able to show up. Donald Trump essentially has just made it clear that America, whether the upper end of immigration or the lower bottom tier, the doors are closed in America. And that's exactly what we've been saying. Close them doors. That is advantageous to us. Now, I know Roland Martin, he may not put down the chicken wing. He may not put down the chicken chow mein. He may not put down the burrito. He may not put down the whole goddamn entree or the whole menu at McDonald's. I understand that. But foundational Black Americans, we going to put down that goddamn work and we going to let everybody know. Keep them doors closed and we can operate. And this is why they're upset. So it all ties in. The immigration, Larry Hoover, the pardons, the commuting of sentences, pay for play. Now FBA stepped to the plate, and every single thing that we said during the election is a going down. And we right on the front line. Look at this right here, family. More news from immigration and more news how people are going home. Y'all remember all those Haitians that were running around here a few days ago? And they was talking all that stuff about Juneteenth? Well, you won't have to worry about them either, because the Supreme Court just allowed Donald Trump to end the protections for over 500,000. Last time I checked, that's 500,000. Okay. And these are people from Cuba, from Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela. And we can add that to the Asians who just got their student visas revoked. Yes, indeed. Foundational Black Americans always win. Proceed, Black Alpha. I will.
Breaking news just in from the Supreme Court. This is a 7-2 ruling involving justices now allowing the Trump administration to revoke protected status for 500,000 immigrants from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela while the appeals process plays out. Gary, fill us in.
Yeah, it was a 7-2 decision. That means that all the conservative justices and Justice Elena Kagan voted together on this case to allow President Trump to end these protections for more than 500,000 individuals from Cuba, from Haiti, from Nicaragua, and from Venezuela. Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson and Justice Sonia Sotomayor dissented in this opinion. They said, quote, "It undervalues the devastating consequences of allowing the government to precipitously upend the lives and livelihoods of nearly 500,000 non-citizens while their legal claims are pending." Now, this all become Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem had been seeking to end this Biden-era program that allowed these individuals from those four countries to live and to work in the U.S. for up to 2 years. And now it was that 2-year deadline that the Trump administration was unhappy with and was trying to move up and to get these folks out of the country. Now, in terms of what is going to happen next, these individuals are going to have to find another reason to be in this country, and another legal reason to be in this country. That could come via a student visa. That could come via a different type of...
Nope, that door's closed. Listen what he said. The protections have ended, so they have to find another reason to be in this country. Family, all my foundational Black Americans, you know, the non-deportables, do you have to find another reason to be in this country? Do you got to find another reason to stay? Do you have to find another reason to exist within these borders? Hell no is the proper answer. So why all of these people who had all that hate, that jealousy, and that spite for us 1 year ago, they got to find another reason to stay in a place where we ain't got to have a reason at all, because we foundational. It's beautiful to be a foundational and not a fleer. Oh, and by the way, all those 500,000 migrants, I heard it's more like 800,000. And I also see that they got to find a reason like a student visa. Well, Donald Trump just closed that door because he said the student visas are closed. So if he closed it for China, Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela don't stand a goddamn chance. Sorry, nice to know you.
Work visa, but it has to not be through this program, at least while appeals are underway. Now, this could, of course, change, right? Because the appeals court could reverse what the Supreme Court has said here, and then it could go back to the Supreme Court. But this all started where a Massachusetts U.S. district judge said the administration could not just sweep this away entirely without these individualized determinations. Now, the Trump administration argued you can't individually determine with 500,000 people in any sort of specific amount of time. It needs to be done faster. It needs to be done as a block. That's something the Supreme Court said, actually, you can.
Breaking news just in.
Damn, man, it seemed like there's breaking news every time you turn the corner. And every time you turn the page, you're seeing foundational Black Americans winning. I love it. So family, the main onus of all this right now is basically us highlighting that every single thing that we said was going to happen during Trump's presidency in terms of immigration and in terms of us doing business, it is all alive and well. It is all on the table. So it's for my certified foundational Black American brothers and sisters to start doing some goddamn regulating, and exactly what we doing. Damn the Democratic Party and damn any party that thinks that they're going to get us to tap dance forever. Not happening. happening. Damn, all these people who come over here musty as hell and they try to tell foundational Black Americans to work harder. Well, you need to work harder on jumping over that fence. You need to work harder on swimming across that lake, across that pond, across that ocean. You need to work harder to find a reason to stay in the country that my brethren, my brothers, my sisters, and my whole damn family built. And it's beautiful to be FBA. So for all of those people out there disrespecting, for all of those people out there talking down, now you looking up at the kings and the queens of the hill, family. We've always been their number one status. Look at this right here, family, to further bring home my point. This brother got a little message for all those other tethers. So tethers, while you're out here trying to find a reason to stay in America and you're out here trying to make sure that you can celebrate all of our holidays, this is a message from foundational Black Americans. And I'm going to go ahead and let you know at the end, we always win.
Juneteenth is coming up, and I want to give a message to everybody from the Black descendants of American slaves, the freedmen. Juneteenth is meant to commemorate the memories of our ancestors, our liberation. It's not about the Caribbean. It's not about the African continent. It's not about South America. It's not about the Hispanic community. It's not about the Asian community. It's not about white people. We're not saying this to be divisive or exclude you. However, you understand in the African continent, y'all got a bunch of tribes that we are not welcome to just openly walk through your tribal village, because there's certain things that are meant for you no matter your skin color. Same way you show up to a martial arts class and you take different bows based on what discipline you are studying is the exact same way we get to have something here that is exclusive, that is exclusive to us. So on this Juneteenth, can we please let Black Americans have something without you trying to crowbar your way in? Thank you. Juneteenth is coming.
Woo! And the damn crowbar is broken. And you can't find it. You can't have it because foundational Black Americans, quite frankly, will not allow it. There it go, family. I love y'all with a passion, y'all. I got to catch a flight. It is my child's birthday today. So y'all send a certified salute to my child. I got to catch a flight, man. I love all of y'all with a passion. Y'all know we had to do some regulating and break it down, but I had to let everyone know that when you're certified all the damn time. When you FBA all day. And when you hate on us, you get your dose of A, B, K, and we don't play around, y'all. So there you go. Y'all stay good. Y'all stay safe, man. Enjoy your weekend, family. Y'all check it out on Sunday. Listen to me now. Sunday, I'm going to drop a little space that we had. And do y'all know White Tommy, Mommy, okay, Sodom and Yor ran up in there and you know we ran him out? If you want to hear the biggest G-checking ever, if you want to hear somebody get their career ended, y'all listen to this, 7 o'clock on Sunday. I'm telling you now. Shout out to my brother Church, Angelic. She was in there. All y'all, nothing but love. Family, Tommy, White Mommy, Sodom and Yor got G-checked, wrecked, and career ended. Deleted, canceled, and erased. And Black Alpha did it, fam. It's the biggest smoke. He's still smoking right now because that's the type of work we put down. So y'all check that out. And I represented the whole family good. And we're going to have that for the whole team. And then we're going to run this thing all the way back around. I send y'all the greatest certified salute. Shout out to Pac. Shout out to y'all. Love y'all. Much love and respect. It's been another classic episode. Number one activist, and y'all know we always deliver right on time. Yes, indeed. All right, now, y'all stay good, man. And while Roland Martin out there crashing out and threatening people, just know that foundational Black Americans, we kicking back and enjoying life, man. It's good to be blessed because everybody else is stressed and ain't nothing left. Certified. Y'all be good. Always remember, peace and love, peace and love, peace and love. Black is beautiful and beautiful is always Black. Free Huey.
Black Alpha Network. Home of Black excellence. Power to the people.